Hello. The last couple videos I shared about the lives of three incredible saints in the life of our Catholic Church: St. Ignatius of Loyola, St. Peter Faber, and St. Francis Xavier. The three of them, being students together in university, began the Society of Jesus, the religious order we know as the Jesuits. And they had an incredible impact on the life of the church, and most especially bringing people to the good news, bringing people into the church, sharing the faith with them, sharing that good news and bringing them into the church. I'd like to build upon that just a little bit, but tackle a couple things that I've been asked and have responded to in one-on-one conversations. Yes, those three became priests, and they served in the life of the church as priests. And priests are an important part of our life of faith to celebrate the sacraments, most especially the Mass, the Eucharist. But there's a shortage of priests. And so I've been asked, Father, wouldn't we have more priests if priests could get married? Or, Father, we're in the Archdiocese of Omaha. The Diocese of Lincoln doesn't have a shortage of priests. Can't they just share some of their priests to help us out? So I'd like to take a moment and address those two particular thoughts. First, about married priests. I know my life as a priest and as a pastor, and I know how my schedule is filled, and it's often beyond full. And so imagine if I was married and had a family. Who would lose? Because it would be physically impossible to have enough time to be a good husband and a good father, and at the same time, a good pastor for the people of a parish. There's not enough time in the day. In fact, if you ask Protestant ministers who are able to be married what their single biggest difficulty or struggle is, it's that there's not enough time to be that good husband and good father. There's not enough time to also be then that good pastor. However, that doesn't seem to resonate as an adequate response for a lot of people. So I've also been thinking about this from a different standpoint. What if I agreed that, yes, priests should be able to get married? My next response is, I've just been a priest for 21 years, coming up this next June of 2023. I will have completed, 22 years of priesthood. And so, at this point, my salary is $30,000. So if the expectation that priests being married and having a wife and a family and children would help increase priesthood, then we also have to think about what's the just salary for that. Most families today would never consider trying to support an entire family on $30,000. You're probably looking at having priest salaries up around $90,000 to $100,000. So each priest, if we have to increase their salaries by $50,000 to $60,000, can the parishes afford that? The answer is no. People's Sunday giving would have to be more than quadruple what it is to meet such a salary demand, plus benefits. With regards to, can't we just get priests from another diocese since they have enough? When we're ordained, we are what are called incardinated into a diocese, meaning our promises of obedience and the life of faith as a priest, the promises we make as priests at ordination are specific to the bishop of a particular diocese. And so I can't just simply go and celebrate Mass or hear confessions or celebrate a wedding or a baptism in another diocese without having a letter of good standing from my bishop and then permission from the bishop in that other diocese. And it's done literally each case by case basis. So a priest is ordained to a particular diocese. And so we stay within those dioceses. Plus, it would just be short term. Those priests might be able to help out for a while, but it's not the long-term solution. The long-term solution is, are we fostering vocations to the priesthood and religious life? Are we helping, specific to priesthood, young men discern that God may be calling them? See, often we hear the phrase vocation crisis, but a vocation crisis would indicate that God is not calling young men to the priesthood. That's not the crisis. God is calling them. But they're not hearing that invitation. They're not hearing that call. And many might even hear the call and they're not answering it out of fear or hesitation for whatever reasons. We need to help walk with them. We need to pour in to young men discerning priesthood, young women discerning religious life. We need to pour into them and help them in that discernment to hear God's invitation. The answer isn't married priesthood, and the answer isn't borrowing from another diocese. The answer lies within our own diocese of helping foster vocations in families and in our parishes. Amen.